Voting for the 2014-15 GAC leGACy Awards wrapped up this weekend, and our final award, the top honor of GAC Team of the Year, goes to the Henderson State Reddies and their baseball team. And this year, and joining us to talk about that award, Coach Cody Hooten. Coach, certainly May was an incredible month for the Reddies. Just take us back. I talked with Claude earlier. Talk about Selection Sunday there. You guys were certainly that bubble team as you were sitting in that sixth spot.
Yeah, it was an awkward weekend. When we got back from the conference tournament, we felt like we had done what we needed to do to remain in that sixth spot in the polls, and practicing, not really knowing what was going to happen. Because if any team wins one of those other two tournaments, we're on the outside looking in, and then even if it falls the way it should have. There was still a chance somebody could overtake us, but we felt pretty confident about what we had done, and sitting there practicing that week and trying to keep focused on that, and not that Sunday, everything fell the way it was supposed to fall, and it was still a nerve-wracking watching the selection show and just making sure you saw that Henderson State, which it wasn't Henderson State. They misdid it, and it was just Henderson. So, but that was fine with us. It was an exciting night.
Well, they may have shorted you, the state there on the name, but you guys certainly took advantage of the opportunity you got there to St. Cloud. What was the mindset there, knowing beyond just this is your first appearance and you're going to face a very loaded region, starting with St. Cloud. So on the road up there, what are you guys thinking, or as you prepare for that regional?
Well, we played a pretty tough schedule, and we'd had success against some really good teams. Going into it, we didn't really know what to expect, just because, St. Cloud's stats were just, it's video game numbers, and it was just hard to wrap your head around, facing a guy who was 10-0 with under a 1 ERA, and they had 360 as a team, and just trying to make, you don't know what kind of competition they had seen, or and so basically the whole year, we don't talk a lot about goals as far as being able to win the X amount of games or this or that. We just always talk about find a way to get into a regional, because at that point you're one hot weekend away from going to Cary, and that's kind of the way we looked at it. Hey, we're here. We may be the 6th seed or whatever, but we're not here to play around. We're here to see what we can do, and give them heck, and look up at the end, see if we scored more runs than they had.
And certainly, you guys took it to them that first game there. Did you feel after game one, even though they were now going to have to fight through the bracket, you'd have to face them again to ultimately get to Cary?
At that point, with the weather and everything kind of getting compacted into 3 days, our biggest thing about winning game one was we didn't have to go play at the middle school in an elimination game. Like that was the biggest thing at that point. And something we stress with our guys is trying not to look 2-3 games ahead. At that point, once we beat St. Cloud, our focus was, hey, we got to come back in 2 hours and play, the loser of SAU Emporia State, and and just trying to stay focused on that. And it was probably fortunate for us that we had to play somebody that was playing back-to-back and had just lost the game, and I think that benefited us a little bit. But yeah, we were just trying to stay in the moment, stay focused, not get too worked up into what the next game meant or what 2 games down the line meant.
Sure, and as you beat Emporia, right, and then you got Mankato. Is that, and then certainly Mankato. If you look at a whole GAC-wide spectrum, there's been a lot of teams that have seen postseasons ruined by teams from Mankato. But you get to them and you get St. Cloud again for the regional, and so that game does not start as well as game one did. But knowing you had to beat them, you if worse came to worse, you had 2 shots. What are you thinking there? You're thinking about how to manage the bullpen, how to, what's the mindset there? Middle innings when you're down. I guess was it 7-2 to St. Cloud in that championship game.
Man, that was the tough part from my perspective. Is working what arms we had left. We had already used Jordan Taylor a couple times. We had already used, Nick Vantio had, several innings in him, but trying to use him at the right time. Looking back, I probably made a poor decision to put Jordan Taylor into the game and use that bullet then. When it was, I think at that point, 7-2. I went to him before the game and asked him how much he had in him, and he said maybe 2. Well, he threw 6 scoreless, and by the time he was done, we were right back in the thick of things, and it was a no-brainer at that point. If we had a chance to find a way to win that game, we were going to use all our bullets, and because they were in the same spot, it was going to be a rough second game if it came to that on both sides. So, they were rolling guys back for the second and third times, and it actually probably benefited us to kind of get down early, because that was the first time in the whole tournament that you could tell we were like, we were a little nervous. This actually, wait a minute, this actually means something. And we tightened up. Getting down early, I think, kind of relaxed us, and we were able to kind of be the hunter again and slowly creep back. And you could tell their reaction changing a little bit as it got closer and closer to where, and then the rain delay came at a perfect time. We had just tied the game, and it was just night and day. The dugouts, our mindset was, whenever they let us play again, we're going to score and win. You could tell in their dugout, just the mindset was, you could just tell in their faces. They'd blown a 5-run lead. They were down across the board, where our guys were just let us know when we play again. We're gonna win this thing. So it was a great experience for sure.
And getting back to those middle innings, have you seen a player hotter in a tournament? So you can see someone get hot in middle of February and may not mean as much as Hunter Mayle and Claude Johnson were there at top of your order. I'm sure that there'll be nightmares up there in St. Cloud for seeing those 2 guys. Seemed they were always coming up in the big spots. They were never 2 out, no on. They were starting a rally. They were always up there to set the table and then finish off rallies. Instead, just speak to how they performed there in the regional, and then we'll look back at the finish there.
Hunter, from the entire month of May, I've never even seen another hitter that, you just knew going into the at-bat that it was, if he made an out, somebody was catching a line drive. That was the only chance. In just the postseason, he raised his average like 60 points, which, that's after a full season, which is insane. And then the regional, he was something, 13 for 17 or 12 for 17. You just knew he was going to be on base. And then, Claude, with Claude, it was whether or not they wanted to pitch to him and get something hit really hard, or try to pitch around him and put him on base, and have to face Jordan Taylor and Lance Fields, who also had really good postseasons. And the big thing about the regional is we swung the bat well, not on the Hunter Mayo level, but we were productive 1 through 9. In that game, we had a couple of situations. One situation in particular, where Darius Hawkins hit a leadoff triple, and the next 2 guys made outs without scoring them. And then Carlos Rodriguez, our 9-hole, gets a tough 0-2 single to make sure we don't leave that runner there, which to me was huge. I think at that point it just made it 7-4, but it would have been completely deflating if we'd have got that leadoff triple and not scored, and still been 4 runs down. But getting that big hit there, and that just a testament to how many guys contributed and how many guys had just huge, impactful moments and at bats, and and it was obviously highlighted by Hunter. I mean, it was just insane what he was able to do.
And then you mentioned the sort of the peculiar situation you deal with there. I guess after the 8th inning you tie it up, and then how long was that rain delay? I feel like a couple hours.
I think it was just about 2 hours, hour 45, 2 hours. Yeah. I mean, it came at the right time because we were, we were out there. We knew we wanted to finish that night, one, because the forecast for the next day was a high of 36. So we were pulling the tarp. We were helping them put down quick dry. We were doing whatever they needed us to do to get that game done then. Because, it was not going to be pleasant the next day if we had to finish it up.
So Nick comes in, right? He starts top of the 9th inning. He sets it down. There was even a pickoff maybe also in that inning.
Yeah.
Thing. And then you come to the bottom of the 9th, and you get the was it a leadoff double or a 1-out?
It was a 10th. The 9th we had a chance to
score,
and we didn't. Nick got him out in the top of the 10th, and then the bottom of the 10th, AJ Cruz led off with a double off the top of the wall.
Right.
It was really close to being a walk-off home run. And then Alex Morgan pinch ran for him, and Carlos Rodriguez bunted him to third, and then Hayden Lessenberry, who came in earlier in the game as a pinch hitter, and grinded out an amazing at bat.
And sorry to cut you off there, Coach, but he had a different situation because there are many ways to play that 1-out situation. You maybe walk the bases loaded to force forces, but they went 5 infielders. Like I said, he was down 0-2. How often have you seen the 5 infielders, or have you used it, or what? What have you? How often have you seen that one employed?
It's been a while, but I've done it before. The situation they were in was just easy to second guess. It's easy to say, oh well, you should have done this. The biggest thing is, the logical thing is you walk the next 2 guys and you try to get the double play. Well, you walk the next 2 guys, you got to face Claude Johnson in a 1-out situation. If you just walk the next guy and set up a double play, you got to face Hunter Mayall, and you're not. There's no chance that we're going to do that. We had a great runner at third. They went with the 5-man infield. The only thing that any issue I had with their philosophy is they took, once they got 2 strikes on Hayden, they took their left center and right center and kind of moved them to right, straightaway right and almost straightaway center, instead of keeping them balanced, which even then I don't know that the left fielder catches that ball, because he hit it pretty, not down the line, but would have been a little bit to the right of a typical left fielder. Would have scored the game. At the end of the day, it's just a tough situation to be in, and we felt pretty good about it. But until that run crosses the plate, there's not, there was still a lot of butterflies, and but Hayden Lessenberry grounded out that at bat and just did a great job, and finally got a pitch he could handle and put it into left.
And, the celebration on the field, since you guys did not win the GAC tournament, you didn't really have that feeling there. I'm sure you had one, Claude saying it rivaled it, seeing your name just being selected, but the emotion of what you'd accomplished there, I think your AD, Sean Jones, saying you're going to the World Series. Just, what moments do you take away after Lessenberry's hit as everybody's piling out of the field?
It was just amazing to see. It's something I've thought about a lot. Just because there were so many guys on that team that have been through the wars and put so much effort and time and energy into trying to accomplish something. To see them finally accomplish that and get to go crazy and dogpile and do all those things. I just couldn't have felt better for that group of guys, because they deserved it so much. And it's just incomprehensible feeling that I still don't know that it's really sunk in exactly what we were able to accomplish, and just how many quality programs that we have so much respect for that haven't been able to accomplish that. And to be able to do it our first time around into a regional, man, it was just that the whole plane ride home. That's as good as it gets as a coach, for sure.
You mentioned the plane ride there, and someone on the plane must have got a picture of you, with the trophy right there at darn near in a first class seats.
Right.
I can't imagine it went too far from being out of your sight until you had to get back into the dugout and start coaching. Going to Cary, then, getting to now I guess what you got 8 there, and you're not like you moved up in the seed lines or anything, so you're still a 6th seed there. So what was the mindset, not letting everybody just rest on their laurels as they went out to the World Series in Cary?
Our mindset was just to go into that the same way we went into the regional. Not necessarily getting caught up too much into the hype, or at this point now we're getting a lot of attention, and we're on the news, and we're just trying to separate all that and just go play baseball. Soak it in and enjoy the moment, but at the same time, again, just like we went to the regional, one hot weekend away from going to Cary. I mean, we looked at it as, hey, we're one hot week away from holding a national championship, and I was proud of our guys. We're able to, a lot of times that the moment can be bigger than you, and our guys never got into that mode, and we played pretty calm and collectively. We just got beat twice, and and I'm proud of the fact that we didn't crumble. It wasn't we went down there and just played way worse than we played all year. I mean, Angelo State's really, really good, and had, I think, 3 draft picks, and the shortstop was an All-American, and we did we found a way to beat them twice, and the 2 teams that beat us, I mean, they're pretty good, and they played pretty well. It wasn't a blowout. We did everything we could. It just didn't work out.
I believe I'm right. Weren't those the 2 that ended up playing for the national title? Were they the 2 finalists? Yeah. So certainly no shame in that. Because maybe there's going to be 10 years down the road, 20 on those those anniversary years. They're gonna there may be something that dream up a story of about this year. But what are the the story or the moments that will carry with you? Not to pun on Cary, that will carry you those those times when you see these guys back together again in 2025 or 2035 for the the inevitable reunions that will come forth for this team.
I think the big thing is just how we never deviated from who we were. I mean, we got good kids who can be silly and crazy, and they never deviated from that. I mean, we're in the dugout in the rain delay in the regional championship, and like I said, you look in their dugout and there's 10 guys on the bench with their head in their hands, just trying to, man, we let a 5-run lead go. We got music playing in the team room down the hall from the dugout, and guys dancing in the aisle, playing fake pitcher catcher in front of the dugout. I mean, that's just us. We were we were a grinded out type team, blue collar team, and we just never let the magnitude of the game change who we were, or change how we approached it. And probably the most memorable thing of the entire run was just the plane ride back from St. Cloud, and Darius Hawkins dancing in the aisles, and Sean Jones dancing in the aisles of the plane, and it's just there's nothing quite like a chartered flight where it's much different than the really strict commercial flights. We're just getting up and getting pretzels or whatever, and drinks, and you probably can't on your typical American Airlines flight, run music through the speaker system of the PA and dance down the aisles, and it was just it's just so much fun. It's hard. It's going to be tough to move on from that situation for sure.
Well, last question here, and Coach, we certainly appreciate taking all the time to look back, and certainly not a moment you'll soon forget. Just take this opportunity, since it was all a fan vote element to these awards, and certainly the Reddies on the social media, they were on it early to make sure that you guys got well represented, and certainly, as you'll see throughout these awards, that you guys did take home a lion's share. Just give what it means to have a support there in Arkadelphia, and for all those across the GAC landscape voted for you guys here as our team of the year.
It was one of the coolest things of the whole experience is just how, even during the experience, is just how much support we got, how many people just showed up in Cary to help us and support us. And, when you get there in Cary, one of the little kiosks, they have every different school, and they have like specific T-shirts with, let's say 2015 national championships and have your logo on it. Ours sold out the second day of the tournament, and we went back the last day we were there, and every other school still had plenty in stock. Just the outpouring of support on social media during the whole deal. Calls, texts, it was overwhelming, and it was great. We got back into town, we had people waiting on us, and and seeing with this fan voting that how well we were supported in that, it means a lot. It means a lot going forward. It means a lot to our guys knowing that they're supported in that way.
Well, again, Coach, certainly was a great run. I basically failed to mention with how much May meant, that how great your February was down in Houston, and then certainly carrying it through the whole year to culminate in Cary, and ultimately here as the inaugural winner of the GAC leGACy Team of the Year. Coach Hooten, we thank you for joining us here and looking back on that team, and best of luck in 2016.
Thank you, and thank everybody who voted.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.